Hello, this is Firewary 999, and after like 2 months, I am back to where water tastes like wine. The best part about having no viewers is you don't have to worry about any sort of schedule. I actually did my homework and read more about things I need to worry about in the controls, so hopefully this will be smoother than the past 2 episodes. When did I come to Ohio? I suppose people from Ohio ask themselves that every morning. But I found out you can equip certain stories. Which is interesting. I don't know how to read that. Oh, there's someone north. Interesting. I just wanted an excuse to go west. It's like this heart icon indicates certain things I need. These fellows are lounging in the front of a half-finished office building, taking their lunch break. Hey, one calls, waving you down. Rick was telling us a story. Listen, okay, and you tell us if it's BS or not. Rick, a credulous-seeming fellow, starts telling you a story about the street in Washington, D.C., lost for 100 years. You realize it's a story of a strange street lost in time in Washington, D.C., but changed in a few major ways. So it's definitely part BS, right? But also a little real. Half the group groans. How the hell is that supposed to be a real story? Exclaims the man who waved you down. You're all the most gullible pieces of crap I've ever met. The other half of the group, vindicated, shares a bottle of pop with you. Move on. I don't... Which way is north? Have I been to Cincinnati yet? Ohio really is a land of mystery. I guess... Is this the one with, like, the ghost? I can't even remember. Digging holes, not what we had in mind, but damn, they're digging a lot of holes in this park. The foreman assigns you to a work group with a mix of other disabled men and women and sends you off to dig in a pit by the water fountain. What's this about? Nobody wants to say. A young woman keeps mouthing something to you across the hole, but you can't make it out. What is she saying? Dear Lobby, Dave Hobby, Dean Bobber? You never get anyone to admit what this is all about, but you get paid pretty okay. Are we digging graves? I need heart. Blue plate special, I suppose. I think we've already met this guy, Fedora Man. Oh, I remember the mystery man in the cave. Before I go... I really can't tell who's here. Before I do so, I'm gonna collect these stories. So look, I discovered auto lock. I learned how to sorta sprint.
Surrounded by fields of corn and rye, a small farm lies fallow. Its tiny stable crumbles into disrepair, and foxtails sprout from its fields. Inside, the sunlight filtering in through two small windows turns to hazy gray shafts in the thick dust that blankets the interior. There's not much in the way of furniture, but on a rustic kitchen table, a handwritten note catches your eye. Never opened.
Well, it's just breaking people's houses.
It's addressed to Martha and unsigned. Her name is written in the stiff letters of a man for whom literacy is more a formality than habit. If you find this, I'm already gone. Don't come looking for me. Rest is scratchy spirals and circles of halfway readable writing about the noises from the cellar and the hunger in the darkness. The cellar door at the edge of the abandoned kitchen calls to your attention.
I'm gonna get eaten alive by rats.
The door is unlatched. The ground below is deeply stained with some dark residue you can't identify. Upon it, only ancient piles of chains and manacles, slowly turning to rust.
It's a little scary.
She's getting married, the soldier tells you. The two of you observe the church from the dusty road, straining to hear the faint joy of the ceremony transpiring within. I fought for 10 years to come home because she said she'd be here, waiting for me. And look, can you believe it?
I'm gonna say no.
So what am I supposed to do? What does she expect? That I should throw myself from the nearest cliff? Walk into the ocean? He snorts, sets off down the road.
I don't know if I need a heart or a stranger. I'm gonna follow him.
He seems surprised to see you a few steps behind. No, he says. Where I'm going, you can't come. It's only then that you notice. There's something very wrong with his eyes.
I would have thought Indianapolis would have been more developed in the 1930s. This kindly old man sharing the shade under the bridge with you tells a few rambling stories, some true seeming, some conspiracy less so. All true, he assures you. There's history in this place, going all the way back to the Indian times. Strange stuff happens around here. Can't all be true. Sure it is, he scoffs, and then, as if to prove himself right, he launches into a story about the blessed lighthouse sanctuary, where souls in love could find respite. And this one, you know, it's a story of the two lighthouse keepers, but wilder and stranger than you remember. I know that one. See then, the old man laughs, so I ain't pulling your leg, it's all true. Move on. For roleplay purposes, I'm gonna go back to the camp. I like the jazz that we got going on in the Midwest. I was gonna say, I thought we
I'm
had him
back
in his true
again.
form.
Well, that's something. You and I both know it ain't safe to sit at my fire. You got some bravery in you, man. All this just to share a dinner and a talk? But I understand. It's better sitting with someone you can trust, putting your life in someone else's hand, trusting, than it is dying alone in the dark. What's the point of life? You ain't living it in fellowship with someone else. Anyway, I need something to laugh about. Got any funny ones?
I maybe should have studied. I had to get all the depressing stories. Guess we'll talk about the cotton pickers.
Come on. Don't try to cheer me up with that lying nonsense. Heaven? Mother Jones once said that carrying a vote is the same as carrying a bayonet. I imagine a sea of weapons laid down, a foam of words writ down instead, and all us miners going onward. Onward with them to freedom. Real freedom. And then finally, after all that abiding, she said, all that law abiding, then we get a jag.
I like the detail how it looks like he's rowing a boat, but instead of oars, he has pickaxes.
Yeah, when that day comes, a skinful will be real nice. A skinful, too. And a morning's honest work to soldier through. Grateful. I need a laugh. Know any good jokes?
I need to remember this guy likes the happy stories. I don't even remember some of these. Guess I'll talk about this one.
Oh boy, you watch out now, I'll start chuckling. Imprisonment? If I'm honest, friend, I'm scared almost every day. And I think a lot about how it could have been worse. I could have died when I was a child, like a mule in the mine. Could have spent days starving for air and light before I kicked it. Could have let these men with their felt hats and their women with the poodles and pearls run machines over me and my friends and family my whole life and well into the after. One word of advice. Life on the run is no life for a living thing. But sometimes it's better than being run over. Got any funny stories? Must have a couple.
I know it's tedious reading the same thing over and over again.
Stranger, miners tell me sadder stuff than that every day of the week. Travel? Where are you from, stranger? If you don't mind, you got the face of someone who's running to, not from. That must seem strange to you. All this talk about work while all I do is run. Where will you go? What will you earn? See anything exciting out there on the road? Mostly I just seen dogs.
Exciting. That's exciting.
Brings me back. There was a time when me and Big Ben could just enjoy exciting stories like this one. innocent. Home. Imagine anyone could cross your threshold and no Baldwin dogs come sniff about it. Imagine a little bit of land to do whatever you like. Look around us right now. Tonight, skyline coming together with the tree line. Black and blue as a spent breath. Sweet as you please. Just seems like there's so much of it. Like it goes on near forever. Seems fair for each of us to get a square, don't it? Till you dare hope. See anything exciting out there on the road? Mostly I just seen dogs.
Let's see here. I'm running low on stories. Oh, I didn't know that.
That's supposed to be scary? Well, all right. Authority? Some part of us wants it. When I was small, I couldn't wait to get down the mines. Part of me still feels like that, I suppose. When someone tells you this is the way to be good and just, it don't matter if it's your father, a woman, the company, or the Lord laying those rules down. Some part of being human makes you jump to do it. Some part of you is always gonna be small, waiting for something bigger than you to say, jump. I got to go, friend. Up the road this way. Wish I had a line of people like you waiting to sit with me and share a fire. But I don't. And I understand. They know how they can get shot. But some of them will see it safer to die standing for something than the way they'll end up dead anyway. And that's something you understand too, right? Maybe we share a fire again, friend. I hope we do.
I have to remember to get more stories before talking to this guy. Okay, I need to go this way. Actually, I'm gonna check out that fire out there in the distance. I don't think this is really working. Okay, so that guy is new.
You've seen migrant camps before, and they tend to look like the town dump. This one, though, on a good day, this could pass for a town. Starched white tents stand tall and many, and a stroll through the grounds finds you neither trash nor trouble. You hear some chatter from a large tent on your left. On your right, a tent in the shadow of the trees emanates a soft buzz.
Can't we have go left, be on the left?
You pass through a shroud of flies into a curtained waiting area. The air is pregnant with the stench of rotten meat, but the area is empty, almost clean, except for the black stains that have seeped into the soil. There's only the curtain, which reaches all the way from one end of the tent to the other. It wears a black overcoat and a white porcelain mask with a fat, sharp beak. There's a butcher's knife in its gloved hand.
This is the pest house.
It snaps in a woman's voice and yanks the curtain shut.
We should butcher rats in there or something? Let's talk to this guy.
Why, hello there. Look like that's a heavy bag you're carrying. Let me get that for you. I insist. You see this uniform? It means you can trust me to make sure this is the most comfortable journey you've ever had in your life. Who am I? Well, I'm no George, I'll tell you that. But that's not important. This trip is about you, friend.
It's a little sad how he feels pressured to be this polite.
You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
Really.
Didn't I hear that story on the radio? You told it better, though. Authority. Hopefully people who ride in a Pullman car feel a little of that. It's about more than a train ride. And not everyone knows what it's like to be the boss, to know what it feels like to be skillfully served. Pullman porters give you a taste, so boss George Pullman will know you'll be back for more. You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
Somehow the upbeat music fits perfectly with this character.
Not sure my brothers will find that one particularly scary.
Okay, whatever.
The past? That's a tricky thing. Yes, porters may remind you of a certain type of way folks of our type used to be. There's no fighting them, just happily working past it. Anyway, you must have some funny stories to tell. Share one.
Where's the one with the leather? What about this soldier?
That's a tall one. Don't pull my leg, okay? Travel, we've all got places to be, and we've all got to get there somehow. So why not get the getting there to be as good as it can get? See, that's really important when getting there is all you got. Have any optimistic tales? I'd like to hear one of those.
That is not optimistic. I think that's kind of optimistic.
That's a tall one. Don't pull my leg, okay?
You were just as bad as the Union Man.
If you're looking for freedom, just think about how magnificent a train is, how the railroad binds this country together. Hop on and go anywhere.
It's the railroad making you say that.
That's freedom, and that's my life. Tell me something that'll make me laugh. I could use a chuckle.
This one made the last guy laugh.
I'll keep this story in my pocket for sure.
Wow.
It'll make some passenger laugh.
Right at the last second.
Traps. Imprisonment? Well, There's a difference between a train you have to ride and a train you get to ride. We porters want that difference to be us. Another night over. I surely did enjoy all those stories, though. Maybe next time I'll let down my hair a bit. What do you say? You must excuse me, friend. What kind of porter am I saying this trip is all about you, only to start talking about my own damn self? But enough of my indulgences. I hope I see you again.
That was fun. Sometimes I forget what I'm doing. Well, it's just the third time we've been in the northeast. Hold on, just checking to make sure I'm still recording. I really like the impression of the sky. Who's here? Oh, the veteran. So I think these recharge some form of like my stamina.
He leans against a fence and turns to face you as you pass him by. At his back is a bag full of birdseed. He assures you that the gawky birds perching on his body are the last remaining passenger pigeons.
I thought they were
They
extinct.
look extinct to you? You're not sure those dull gray pigeons look anything like the pictures you've seen of passenger pigeons, though you can't help thinking they stare at you a little too intently. Say, you like birds?
Well, there's the magical raven that talks to me sometimes.
They're lovely creatures. Guileless, really. Hunted damn near to extinction, weren't you? He strokes one of his birds under the chin. You think you see drips of blood flecking the creature's dirty gray head.
Is it a dead bird?
You sense it's about time you start moving on. You be kind to the little birds now, you hear? You hurry along the road, though the flapping of ungainly wings seems to follow you for hours.
When the night come down for to take me hand in hand, this will be my
I don't
tale,
see anything
my
nearby I can
favorite
collect.
song. This will be my tale.
First, Ma and Pa wanted me and Paul on the front lines. They wanted someone to be proud of, and I did as they asked. Then the government wanted me to take an IOU, and I did. When there were no more jobs, I, along with thousands of others like me, went and asked Hoover to pay up.
All I remember, U.S. history class is coming back.
General MacArthur was so scared of us, he brought in goddamn tanks to keep us from tearing apart D.C. So anyway, tell me a funny story? You seem like you know a few good ones.
This one seems to work well.
Yeah, Paul would have liked that one. Traps.
But it didn't even open up his
Felt
eye.
like I was trapped, but it's fading. It's a slow process, but the memories, they leave sometimes. They leave. I don't remember every compatriot. I don't remember Pa's voice anymore. Tell me a happy story. Something to make the world seem kind.
Let's see here. think this is a happy story.
I liked that one. There's some hope left for you too, you know. Don't give it away too quickly. Love? All the connections. Which is what love is, isn't it? Drowned in the mud in no man's land with Paul. But love comes in so many forms. I love now the ability to walk more dearly than ever. I love more deeply the sun and the earth.
I can relate to that
Know
one.
any good jokes? I'm not so good at telling them anymore.
I don't even remember this one.
Oh, come on. That doesn't sound real. My journey? If you look at it all at once, it'll overwhelm you. It'll hurt your mind. If you take it day by day, then it won't hurt quite so
Oh,
much.
I blinked. I've never noticed him
My
do
foot
that
bears
before.
it a bit better. But anyway, do you know any good sad stories? True ones?
But we have plenty of sad stories.
Well, maybe you should tell my story to Hoover. I think you might put a crack in his heart. Sadness? It didn't come immediately. When Paul died, it left me feeling like half of me was missing. You don't get a connection like that. You can't go back and get another twin. The emptiness didn't last. It filled itself with sadness not long after. Maybe it'll take my mind off my sorrow to hear about somebody else's. Tell me a sad story.
This is a good sad one.
I wish I could talk about what happened in the trenches the way you do. Might help someone to understand. Making choices. Well, morals ain't important to the bosses,
That's a
and not to
typo.
me, and not to the war. They ain't doing anyone any good anymore. Well, morning's come. The road takes me this way next. Wish it were taking me home. The family always did like Paul more anyhow. Loyalty to him is the only loyalty I don't regret. Even the other soldiers of the bonus army, they had families to go back to. I got my sister Jessie, and she's not letting her gimp brother home anytime soon.
My vagrant song.
Who's this? Okay. So maybe if I make an effort to go south and collect all the stories along the way, I can loop back up to the others. Kind of annoying with these mountains. You can't really see what's on the other side. I love the details of the little coal mines though. I? Okay.
You
Okay.
seem an alright sort, stranger. But there are some real bums out there, and I ain't talking about folks who are down on their luck.
I was not expecting that to be his true form.
Got myself run off from a nice spot I done set all up a few miles back for winter. Ain't the first time I've been run off.
Oh, there's another guy right there.
Let me tell you about the bunch of Judases what raised me. I was oldest, had a brother and a baby sister. The farm was small, but it weren't sad and all full of ruination in the early days. But I suppose my ma and pa couldn't make a go of it. When things started getting depressed and tight, every damn thing started to fall to pieces.
Is this supposed to be a representation of his anger?
First, they stole from us money we'd been saving or earned, things they could sell. Then they abandoned my brother, letting him die instead of calling a doctor. Then they sent me on my way, saying they couldn't provide no more, that I was too big for 'em to keep. Hey, tell me one of those exciting stories.
My God.
Were you trying to scare me? Well, you didn't go far enough.
How are ghosts not exciting?
Stranger, I try my best not to think on the past. This ain't my normal state of things. But, you see, Cass ain't a very good conversationalist, and it's nice to have someone really listen to my story. Hey, tell me a funny story. You seem like you still got a sense of humor.
I haven't seen Quinn in a while, though, to be honest. Imagine if you could tell someone their own story.
That was a chuckle, to be sure. Being
Why
trapped.
didn't it open up
I've
his
tried my
eye?
best to make sense of it all. And from what I done seen, the more you have, the more you're tied down. Responsibility to lash you to the ground so you can't move an inch. Playing a game only other folks are winning. Hey, do you got any really thrilling stories to tell? I'm hankering for one of those.
These people are hard to impress.
I usually like the scary stuff, but your story needed more You talk about fate? I wonder sometimes if what was in them is in me too. That thing. Whatever it was that made my parents no good for people. I want to hear a story about ghosts or murderers or something. Scary stuff.
Ghosts or murderers? I don't think anyone's been really impressed with this one.
I don't get too much out of tales that are so cheerful. Not enough excitement for me. Freedom. Will I ever be free, stranger? Is there even such a thing anymore? That train whistle means venture, new sights, more life. But prison comes in different shapes, don't it? I think I finally understand that now. I want to hear one of them venturing tales. Got any?
This is my last chance to make any sort of progress. Thrilling. This was kind of a thriller.
Well, that was something. You spin a good yarn. Well, talking of choices, I don't rightly know what I could have done different. Run away sooner. Maybe if I did, they could have paid for the doctor. Well, night's over. Didn't understand all your stories, but I'd hear more if I see you again on my travels. Look, I didn't mean to drag you down with my stories of misery and suffering or whatever, but you're a good listener. That's rare in a person, you know. But round you, I feel safe to tell the truth. Look, I'm heading up the road this way. Where are you going? I hope our roads cross again, friend.
In my defense for failing so miserably, I was not expecting a Quinn jump scare. I think this is like the second or third time I've beaten.
Well, I'm gonna scroll my name on the bare bones of the earth. I'm gonna dig
Need a rest in
my
Nashville.
heels into the ground.
Oh, that's a new person, I think.
Comes for to tally up my worth. I won't leave much to find that can be found.
Stop in Nashville first. Have I not explored?
From the windows of the store, you can hear a radio, turned all the way up, tuned to the Grand Ole Opry show being played across town. Two young girls sit outside listening to the music. Suddenly, it cuts off, and they howl in protest.
I'm gonna talk to the girls.
Despite their obvious vexation, neither of the girls seems inclined to enter the store to see why the broadcast ceased. They seem to be preparing to leave on their bikes. When you approach, one says,
Don't bother. Always stops exactly this time, every week.
Always.
The other one matter-of-factly says,
That's when he died.
and before you can ask anything else, they've ridden away. The window is so grimy you can barely see through the glass. But it's obvious there's nothing to see anyway. It's dark and empty. There's certainly no radio, nor any people. Just a lot of sad dust, marked where the furniture used to stand. Old memories, carted away.
Move on. Earn some capital. Look for work. You hit 4 factories, but nobody's hiring today. Soon you notice you're cruising around the city when the loose group of rejected laborers, coughing men in baggy clothes, women with babies tied to their backs, an older fellow with only one hand. Nobody wants us. After the 5th factory, everyone makes a silent agreement to give up. You sit on the curb across the factory doors and eat your sad little lunches together in silence. Screw this city, huh? I guess the authors did not like Nashville. Move on. I need to fill my heart. I don't have money. Oh god. This is a tired city, but things are changing, locals say. For instance, the local full-size replica of the Parthenon was recently rebuilt. Huh, you mosey down that way for a look. I guess the only thing to do in Nashville is leave. I'm gonna talk to this new guy. Althea?
I wanted to be the best blues singer in the world. By God, I was.
Oh my god, this voice actor is incredible.
I was born a poor girl in Memphis, Tennessee. No father. He run out. No mama either. She was there, but she weren't there really. All alone but for my Uncle Richard, my baby brother Marcus. All alone but for the guitar. Ooh, now I'm in the mood for a story with a bit of that tragedy to it.
There's definitely no shortage of those.
That's like a song. pretty and sad. I got stories about sadness. Something in my mama just broke when my father left. Couldn't get her to eat most days, let alone feed me and my brother. Tell me a story to make me laugh. I could use a chuckle.
Humor.
Oh boy, that's a good one. Don't
I
have
like
much
her.
truck with Faith.
I think she's my favorite so far.
Only time I ever went to church, it was to hear that gospel choir sing. Ooh, how about a story about the dark and scary things in the world?
Scary. Maybe I don't have that many scary stories. That's scary, right?
Oh, that's a scary one. I don't like to think about the past. When I lay down to bed now, I hear Marcus cry out to me. He's hungry, he says. When I was a girl, all I wanted was to help him. Ooh, now I'm in the mood for a story with a bit of that tragedy to it.
So I can only use one from each category. I like her. She doesn't complain about my stories
I
as
drink
much.
to that. Love. Well, I would have done anything for my brother. Anything, yeah. Ooh, now I'm in the mood for a story with a bit of that tragedy to it.
I really love her design. I may have just blew my
Oh,
wild
now
card.
that pain. I wasn't one to accept death. To live beside it, that wasn't my way.
I wonder what her true form is.
Now, I told myself I was running away to take care of my brother Marcus. But I was just running. The sun is up. One more night gone. I need to be going. If you want to hear more about the deal I made, you can look for me up the road this way.
Okay.
I was about 25 when I left my first record contract. No more richer than I was before. Those men took me around like a freak show. Me and my guitar, my sad songs. I didn't know what to do once I was free again.
You could try Harlem.
Alone, drinking my sorrows. That's where the devil found me.
Well, I got a fire in me. Don't come from up above. Yeah, I got debts to pay, but not the one.
And my heart's still broken.
And all of that fame and fortune bought me a hell of a lot to lose.
Ooh, that's a story over there.
But you ain't gonna hear me crying, 'cause I got that soul.
What's that little arrow icon? Scowling woman surprises you by offering you a job. Help me fix the damn pump and I'll stuff you so full of pie you can't move, she barks. She's got a permanent frown like a cow trapped on her shoes, but she's a fast worker and a quick wit. And her pie's phenomenal. Who's over? It's another new guy. Oh, we're in stories galore.
Clearly a man-made hole breaching into an earthen mound. The man, khakis dirtied by kneeling on the rough earth, has assembled a macabre little pile of skulls to the side.
What are you doing?
Readying these for sale, friend.
He wipes his hands on his pants.
This pile of skulls, clearly claimed from his enemies by an Indian chieftain, would be perfect for any cabinet of curiosities or sideshow attraction.
I like how they reference the indigenous people a lot in this game. Although this one is more of a racist story.
Why, these skulls belong to no one. They're just here, lying under this mound, waiting for an enterprising soul to make something of them. Isn't this what America's all about?
Look deeper into the map.
Little sunlight reaches that deep in, but you can still see the skeletal remains, their heads carelessly removed, laying neatly in their excavated resting places, each one lovingly surrounded by stone effigies, earthenware, and copper plates in the shape of winged warriors.
Oh, the Thunderbird, you fool. I'm gonna
You
threaten him.
pause and consider this small man, greedily arranging someone's remains as though they were a trinket for a mantelpiece.
Let's just throw some fire onto the story scene with the
It's
American
crude and ridiculous,
South.
but he's a crude and ridiculous man. You have him run off the mound, sworn never to tell of what he's seen, for fear of monsters and ghosts. It's a small thing, but a kindness, you hope.
We're down to the river, gonna cleanse my soul.
Alabama's got a good song.
Temptation. I just walk on.
Excusez-moi.
Beckoning you over, the woman shows you a letter, beautifully typeset on thick vellum. You're struck by the scent of a fancy department store. She points on the parchment to the address.
This address, you know?
Her accent is very thick.
Is she gonna rob me?
You are dismayed to read the first paragraph. Lorem ipsum dolor sit amet, and the address under the monogram in the letterhead. 12345 Road Street, Anytown, USA. The woman blinks, hopefully, leaning close over your shoulder.
Yes? You know this place?
She asks. Poor woman. She's been tricked.
I love how they put like the standard Latin thing you see on every format ever. I'll let her down easy.
This place doesn't exist, you try to explain as loud and slowly as possible.
Of course she exists.
The woman snorts, thumping a fist to her chest. You struggle to make yourself understood, but the poor woman whisks the letter away and stomps down the street. Ah well, c'est la vie.
I like how it's a universal thought that when someone doesn't understand your language, that speaking as loudly as possible helps contribute to their understanding. I'm gonna go to this fire over here. Yeah, with the new guy. Are these supposed to be? Oh, it's like a little forest.
First tree in a mile, and it's a stout myrtle with bald branches. No relief from the sun out here, Leaves would help. Someone hadn't replaced them all with dusty glass bottles.
This is the sort of thing you would find in rural Nevada.
You cool down in the shade. The breeze blows through the bottles, making a series of heavy, hollow sounds. You think about wind chimes and the smell of fresh pies on windowsills. The dense sound of many conversations cuts your nap short. There's no one around. Not until you look up at the bottles. They're filled with bright blue orbs, and words echo from them. None seem to notice your presence.
As much as I want to listen to the sad story, everyone always asks for the comedies, and my stories aren't ever sufficient.
Can't get enough? Porcelain, chrome, the rusty ones? Gotta turn those sleek faucets. Ever find me in a hardware store, I'm gonna haunt it till the cows come home.
Laughter rumbles inside neighboring bottles.
Interesting. Shaw.
I take a look at you. Figure we're heading to the same place. You've been walking a long time, same as me, trying to find where you fit.
I love how diverse the characters are in this game.
You ever wonder if that place don't exist? No shame in it, I do. Plenty of time I wonder if I just walk forever. You start to wonder, how did I get here? When you're alone, all you have is all this time. Time to trace the lines back to where things started. But anyway, you know any good true tragedies? I feel like one of those tonight.
Let's see here. Tragic.
Body and soul. Well, as far as love stories, I mostly love work. Working the land felt natural, felt good. It was the work itself, the labor, the sweat, and knowing that I could point at it and say, that's mine. You got any good happy stories where things work out for someone maybe?
Don't really have any happy stories. Hopeful story. I don't really remember this one. I don't think it was
That was a
hopeful.
good
Oh,
one.
it was hopeful.
Wish I could have your stories around when I'm in a dark place, you know? Wishes come true. My father was born a slave, died free. I was born free, and as a young man, I still felt like I was dying a slave. But tell me, what's the wildest thing you've seen out there so far?
Really. There's 16 characters and 16 little icons. I did not catch on to that before. This one's not really... I should litmus test it and figure out what kind of story it is.
Well, if you want to make me weep, it's gonna have to sound realer than that.
Okay, so that's a sad story.
Some folks have choice. Sometimes you have options, but no choice. You understand? Sometimes you're told you could do anything, but there's only one thing to do. But anyway, now I feel like hearing a hopeful story. Got any of those?
I feel like this one's hopeful.
My life is sad enough without that.
Okay, never mind.
No one would say my father was free. Sometimes I think about whether my father would find my life all that different from his. So, tell me a sad story. Sad and true, okay?